Hello everyone, I'm Grim, a freelance artist, and in 2024 I tried to draw 100 of every part of the body to improve my anatomy. I want to take this video to tell you why I did it, how I went about it, and a bit of a retrospective on the experience. I don't have a whole bunch of other intro things for you this week, so let's get right into it. Why did I decide I wanted to draw 100 of every part of the body? Honestly, it came from a desire to see myself improve in a really tangible way. I've honestly always had a really rough time seeing my own improvement in my art if the pieces aren't made like at least 4 years apart. I've gotten a bit better about it in recent years, but the fact that it's still hard makes me go, man, am I even really getting better? You know, that sort of classic artist doubt. Obviously, comparison is bad and all, but also mastery of your craft is fun to achieve. For me, finally feeling like I've quote-unquote mastered something in art is kind of like beating that impossible Dark Souls boss that you've been stuck on for a week. Or, if you're me, finally beating Father Gascoigne after a real-life week of trying. It is like my catnip. Drawing my characters and my stories is fun, but being able to convey really specific things and break the quote-unquote rules of art in really neat ways is what's very fun to me. Anyway, to summarize, basically, I decided to draw 100 of every part of the body because I wanted to improve my understanding of anatomy. Staring at too much Frank Frazetta art will do that to a Thane. How I went about drawing every part of the body was honestly pretty simple. 100 of every body part is just enough of a number to be manageable over time, but still a lot of practice. Effectively, I broke the body up into the same sections that I learned in art school, which is the head and neck, torso, arms, pelvis, legs, hands, and feet. I also worked in that order too. I want to note that that order matters because I have to be able to practice connecting the parts of the body too, which means I need to work from the head and torso out to the extremities, since obviously, if you haven't learned how to draw the arms, jumping straight to the hands makes it hard to connect them. As far as tackling that big 100 count goes, I broke it up into sketching 5 of whatever I was studying that day. Usually when I started a new body part, I'd take my time and do studies from the morpho anatomy books. I'd also take a moment to read over the explanations of different sections of the anatomy because I found those super helpful. Then, once I got comfy, I'd do timed gestures using a website like Quick Poses and eventually move on to doing some from memory. Or I'd do studies of art that had anatomy stylizations I liked. Once it was done, I actually had my partner be my accountability buddy here, and he would tally off the amount I drew on a sticky note. And then, when that sticky note got to 100, I moved on to the next part of the body. Is basically just rinse and repeat until I did everything. In retrospective, I think this method of studying was pretty good. By the end, I'd definitely gotten sick of it, but I still finished it, and that's super nice. And by the end of the year, I think my anatomy improved a lot overall. I had a much better grasp of the planes of the face, how muscles wrap around the torso and how they squash and stretch, how the pelvis connects, how knees work, and a lot more. Like, reading through the morpho books completely changed how I draw hands. I used to just kind of do whatever, but now I have this method of drawing these funny little beans that link together, and I think it makes really cool finger shapes. Not to mention, like, I understand how armpits work now. Like, have you ever tried to draw an armpit correctly? It's kind of a nightmare. Anyway, rambles about really specific anatomy things I learned aside, I think it absolutely helped. I still use 3D models pretty often to get my poses figured out quickly, but I feel like I can compensate for the failures of a 3D model a lot better than I could before. Like, A drawing model in Clip Studio Paint simply isn't going to be able to recreate the squash and stretch of the muscles and flesh without being a really advanced model like the ones used in 3D animation. But having a better understanding of what the muscles would actually be doing helps me shade my work and draw my lines. Just, it helps all around. So overall, good method of studying. Bit boring over time, but worth it for the long haul. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed learning about this little adventure I had and maybe learned something or got some ideas about how to do your own studies. If you enjoyed yourself, feel free to leave a like on the video, subscribe, all that algorithm-pleasing jazz. And hey, if you have an art topic you want me to talk about, go ahead and leave your suggestions below. And again, thank you for watching, and next week I will see you with something art-related. Don't know what, but it will be something. Anyway, bye-bye!